Very good afternoon, good morning to the South Americans, good evening to the guys in India. This is ZA6YI with a very ropey voice today, running the worldwide DATV Net on a Sunday. We wish to take this opportunity of thanking the Qatar satellite company for allowing us the opportunity to have our amateur satellite connected to theirs, so to say, and for all the assistance and financial support they had given AMSAT DL during the years. Today on the list we have a small short list. If I can just bring it up. We have Leon to follow. I hope Leon's going to show us something interesting. It sounded like that from the test programs he sent just now. And then after that we have Simon. Hi, welcome back Simon, G4ELI. And I see you about to go dog walkies. So we'll keep the over short, and then you pass it to Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Radio X-ray, or Fox Bravo X-ray. Apologies, Benno's in the Netherlands. And then another Netherlands is Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta. Nice Bert, nice to hear you and see you again earlier. And hello to Paul, also in the Netherlands, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. And whoever comes on after that. So, let me just put the microphone back to my side, and then we can try and bring in Leon. So Leon, would you like to take an over, please, sir? ZS1 Mike down in the Cape, southern part of South Africa, from ZS6YI.
Okay, thanks Gary. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those on the net. I think my camera is standing a little bit skew, I don't know. I've moved things around a bit. Yes, no, I didn't do any test transmissions with interesting stuff. I just went on and off just to see whether my transmitter is working, and that's all. Okay, what am I doing? Right now I was busy preparing for a demonstration at a school. They've asked me, come and talk to the kids and show them something interesting. Now, I can't show them rocketry, live rocketry, because it's in town. We can't fire a rocket there. So I thought, okay, let's do something else. I'm preparing for a demonstration that radio waves and light is the same thing, that they are related. You can polarize them, you can reflect them, and all sorts of things, and you can modulate them. So yeah, that's what I'm busy preparing here. I've also built my launch box for when I launch my rockets at the test range, the ones that they've asked me to build, which I'm still busy working on. I've made a small amount of the relevant fuel that I'm going to use, and it's fine. The recipe still works, thanks to Mr. Richard Naka from Canada, whose CD I bought years ago. I had a bit of a problem to find the proper epoxy, which is very critical in the mix, but I stumbled across something at the local mall here which works just as well, so it's freely available. I'm still waiting for the hardware store to I've still got the tins of my original epoxy, but yeah, they took a picture of it and said they'll contact the supplier and so on, but they haven't come back yet. So I thought, nah, let me try something else. And it's perfect. Anyway, so we're working on that. And tomorrow I must go back to Bredasdorp because the work phoned and they want me here earlier. Just for 2 days now in this coming week. Then I'll be back here hopefully for another, well, until November. My official booking is for the whole of November, although they tell me they've extended my contract to the 13th of December. So yeah, you never know what cooks there. Yes, and then Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa, I got as a present from a friend of mine, ZS1 Charlie, I think is his new call sign. He had another call sign, but he changed it to ZS1 Charlie. Is a spectrum analyzer which you also have. It was in a terrible state. He got it from somebody else. It's had a very, very hard life. Ooh! But it's this baby. Paul, you have a similar one there. You see the attenuator knob is missing, so I'm desperately looking for a Hewlett-Packard attenuator knob assembly from a 50-year-old spectrum analyzer. But anyway, I managed to get it going. It had a lot of faults on it. HT flashing over, the flood gun staying on, blocking out the screen, and all sorts of things like that. But that's all been cured now. Now it's just I'm trying to get some knobs, but for such an old HP instrument, I mean, yeah. After 20 years, even after 10 years, I think you don't really get spares for them. So yeah. Anyway, that's it from me for now. So Simon, over to you. G4ELI for the group from ZS1 Mike. And I must say, Gary, you look much better now. There's not a trace of your shingles.
There we go. Yes, audio coming through. Good evening, everyone. Oh, good afternoon. Sorry, better mute things here. I keep forgetting to do that. Simon here, G4ELI. Bit overcast here, and the dog is actually harassing me. He's down in his basket down there. You can just see a bit of a leg. It is time to go out. As you can see, it's just gone 3 o'clock, so time for our afternoon walk. At the moment, we have massive 2-meter tropo. I worked a guy in Austria, 1,350 kilometers on sideband. I listen on FT8, but I don't transmit. I much prefer to actually talk to human beings. Anyway, 1,350 kilometers on sideband, and if you see my little aerial, you'd be very surprised. It's a 6-element quad, just on top of the garage. Main reason I came on, just testing the software, making sure things are still working. I accidentally caused my UPS to power off, and it took the computer down because it was running from it, so I've just been rebooting a few times, making sure everything's working. And stop this animal getting under the table. He really can be a total pain. So there we go. Not a great deal more. I did have a few notes. I'm not going to stay for a second round. I'm actually going to head out with the thing now. He can be a right pain in the neck, this animal, and he knows it, and he does it on purpose, and he probably says exactly the same about me. Just watching my little, you can't see it on the camera, my 9,700 beacon coming in from Switzerland, which is a good 1,000 kilometers away. It is very, very strong. So it's nice to see the conditions, but sadly, the people aren't on the amateur radio, VHF amateur radio around here. It's in very, very sad decline. So with that, over to Benno, whose call sign he knows, PA3FBX, I think. And I wish everyone 7-3, and I'll be watching for a bit, but I'll pick up the YouTube video when I get back. So bye-bye, everybody. Let's bring up a bye-bye card. There we go.
Hi guys, I forgot to switch on the amplifier, and then I found that I hadn't turned on the transmitter on the computer. Well, anyway, I'm there. That's a little bit high. My camera just went a little bit back. That's better, I think. Okay. Well, my camera is always moving around. That's things in the shack are always moving around here, Leon. Gary, thank you for leading the net. And yeah, the image was much better than 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I have not. Ah, okay. I switch off the audio. That's not good. That's why everyone tries to call me, warn me. Sorry, I'm just noticed my slider. I'm not taking telephone calls. Someone tries to give me a telephone call and things like that. Well, camera. Yeah, the camera is also not straight here and always moving around, Leon. And Gary, thanks for leading the net. Obviously, your face looks much better than 2 weeks ago. And I think I wasn't there last week. And I don't know if I will be next week, as I will be Jamboree on the air next weekend. Probably only on Saturday and most likely not on Sunday. But yeah, well, you never know. That's about that. Simon, yeah, I was asking you a question. I hope you will listen in, but probably you're gone. The dog is, I know those kind of dogs. I have one as well. And it's always asking some attention on the wrong spot. Fortunately, I have my door closed and the dog won't come in now. But yeah, I am running your software, and I was running one of the first beta versions, and yeah, I should have installed the last one, which came out recently, I saw. So I just downloaded it. The reason I was using it is for a new experiment for myself. I am planning this winter do more experiments on 6 meters on DATV, and actually I have used your software with a Pluto Plus on 6 meters. No, it couldn't work. It didn't work on 6 meters. That was the problem. I was using Node-RED on 6 meters, with the D8 with the Pluto Plus, and I am going to play with this part. Oh, I have prepared that better. Where is my camera? That one, which is one of the fishball SDR transceiver, which has all the standard components, including the Everest firmware. And I was wondering if you knew this fishbowl and if you have all, well, if it should have all the capabilities in operating this fishbowl SDR. But yeah, that's another story. What I found is if I try the old version SDR TV, that I had very bad shoulders on VHF and UHF. So I haven't tested on all bands, but well, I should now go first with the latest version, which is official since last month. Okay, well, that's another thing to go. Passing it on to Bert, AV Alpha Oscar Delta, great signal as always. Let's see, do I have a camera? Yes, I have. From Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray, passing it on to you, Bert. And a test image as well.
Yep. Yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, Benno. About the fish ball. Yeah, there are so many different SDRs nowadays. It's hard to find the good one. Eh? Some have some problems, others not. But yeah. Now, anyway, there are many of those available. Probably in the future there will be more of these kind of small SDR transceivers. They're all mostly always based on the same components, as you said. Yeah, about what I've done. Oh yeah, let's see what the other ones guys did. Tropic. I've listened also to 2 meter on the moment, but nothing over here. It was not in my area, and yeah, my antenna is down at the moment. It's just maybe yeah, on 15-16 meter level, but nothing to hear here on this side. And yeah, Leon, still working. I thought you were already retired for a couple of years, but still working, yeah? Yeah, and the spectrum analyzer, yeah, that is a heavy one, yeah? That's, I don't know how many kilos, but maybe 25-30 kilos, that analyzer, eh? That's a heavy one. I got only the small ones nowadays, not with a tube, but with an LCD screen, yeah? And that's much lighter, that's maybe 2-3 kilos, eh? Let's see. Oh yeah, what I've done, yeah, just did some 3D printing for my new 10-inch cabinet. I can show, maybe, let's turn the camera. I'm busy with rebuilding my narrowband station. Also with an SDR, same kind as what Benno is just showing. This is an Libre SDR or a Sync SDR, whatever you want to call it. Everything will be placed in a 10-inch cabinet. This SDR cut over here is yeah, the GPSDO with 25 MHz out for the LB and 40 MHz out for syncing the SDR. And yeah, on the other side there's a small amplifier still in another box, but that will also be placed. That will be placed then in the other shelf. There are a couple of shelves for the narrowband, and yeah, the same as I do for the wideband. The wideband is already in the same cabinet that's in my shed in the garden, and that's near the telescope, near the dish. As one of the things I'm basically also with, but still waiting for its component, is my 70 centimeter amplifier. Yeah, that's still waiting for components, so it's on hold on the moment. So that's also the reason I'm now busy with the narrow band. That's all from this side. The weather is not that so good. It's a little bit rain, more drizzle at the moment. But yeah, we had already some sun this afternoon. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's already nearly mid-October, so yeah, autumn is coming and the winter is on the doorstep. Let's go to the seaside of the Netherlands, to Paul, Papa Echo 1, Alpha Victor Papa, from the group, Papa Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, there's also audio, I noticed. That's good. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, depending on where you are, of course. From the Netherlands, indeed, quite near to the North Sea coast. First of all, Gary, thanks for hosting the net. Yeah, I listened to your voice. I don't know what's wrong, but it was clearly different from other times, Gary. Well, I wish you are well soon. And then, yeah, looking at the weather in the Netherlands, at the moment it is grey, overcast. The temperature is 16 degrees, but there is no wind, so that's good. I want to say hello to Simon. Actually, we did communicate in the past, but I do not remember we ever met here on the wideband receiver. Congratulations on your MSAT UK award. Yeah, to my opinion, you deserve that, looking at all the great software that you did develop. So thanks a lot, also from my side. I did install a previous beta version on an Intel 9 personal computer, and actually, yeah, it worked. Already, but I'm not active yet using your software, Simon, for the simple reason I need some more time to work on it, and that's more for winter time. But yeah, everything that you deliver is great software, Simon. Yeah, I was asking myself, I did not see the King of England for quite a while. Is anyone able to tell me how he is? Perhaps Gary, you know. Hobby-wise, there did not happen that much in the Netherlands. Since the last time that I was active on the wideband transponder, we were away for a few days with our mobile home. Which was great. Actually, we did visit a few places around the IJsselmeer in the Netherlands. That's really in the center. We drove around. That's about 500 kilometers, and yeah, we really did enjoy it. We put our mobile home now in the winter storage, and that means that until April next year we will not be able to use it. Yeah. That is how it is. What else did I do? I did repair my Voltcraft power supply unit. It's a laboratory power supply. You can see it in the background. It's actually the second time that I had to repair it. I did replace some power FETs. And the question is, of course, what is the reason why this happened twice? So this time I also did replace the integrated circuit that is controlling the power FET, and hopefully it will stay alive now. Let's see. What else happened? Yeah, I did install last week a new dishwasher. That was a kind of preventive maintenance since the old one was yeah, over 20 years old. I did repair that one many times, but it was still operational. Now I installed the new one, and guess what? Yeah, the new one is defective. Well, since there's a guarantee, I did not open the unit yet, so tomorrow there will be an engineer and hopefully he will be able to make it up and running again. Yeah, for the rest, I'm working on my car to get it through the MOT. That will be done in 1.5 weeks. Hopefully the brakes will be working at that time. Actually, well, there is not really a problem, but yeah, it's a kind of adjustment on a pre-war designed car. And it's damn difficult to fulfill modern regulation. Basically, that's what it is. So I did some adjustment on the brake shoes, and hopefully it's okay now. Furthermore, what could I mention? Yeah, in the Netherlands, I do not know whether you in South Africa and also England are aware, and other places, of course, but we have upcoming elections in the end of October in the Netherlands. We had elections for our parliament about 2 years ago. It took a year to form a right-wing coalition, and this coalition was fighting for 10 months or so, and it had fallen. So we are able to vote again within 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, there is quite some attention in our society on that new election. Yeah, furthermore, not that much news. Leon, yeah, you talked about the spectrum analyzer. Actually, I've got two. The one that you see in the background, that is the one to 1.5 gigahertz. It is still functioning. And looking at the knobs, these are really the old knobs. And the second spectrum analyzer, which also is from HP and 50 years old, that is the 8559. That's a spectrum analyzer that goes to 21 gigahertz. I'm still using it, and it works great actually. There is another spectrum analyzer, you cannot see it, that's not from HP. That is in the background, it's standing there on the floor, also really heavy, that goes up to 26 gigahertz. But you were talking about the knobs, and this is what you mean, Leon. Look, this is an example of an old knob, and yeah, when the plastic gets old, it simply breaks. And what you can see on this one, I already tried to repair it, but yeah, once the plastic is old, that simply does not work. And the way in which I do it, if you still have the scale, Gary, you can use these regular knobs. And what's the English name? You put a file in the center. You make the hole a bit bigger. You can put the scale on top of it, and that works. It works great. So the spectrum analyzer here on the side, the 21 gigahertz one, has such a knob, and it's perfect again. It works. So if you've got some time available, you can give it a try. Okay. Then, yeah, I cannot talk about Tropo on 2 meters, Simon. Apologies. And Benno, yeah, we missed some words of you, but you noticed that. That's good. The fishbowl SDR. Yeah, actually, Jaap, PA2, PA2, JSA. He proposed that SDR some weeks ago, and actually he did a lot of experiments on it. Hardware-wise, it's a beautiful SDR, at least to my opinion. But yeah, suddenly the SDR got broken, probably on the firmware. So he returned the unit to China, and later on he told that this French F5OEO made new firmware available that makes the fishbowl SDR live again. So perhaps in the next over, Benno, you can talk about that. Yeah, and Bert, it's always great to see what you're doing in this worldwide net. We talked a lot about your new station, but I did not see it, and now I can see it. Really great. You did not talk about your Pluto issue, because that was one of the, let's say, the drivers for your work on the new narrowband station. At least that's what I understood. Well, ladies, gentlemen, that's it from the Netherlands. I hand over to Gary, because he is the next and the first one on the list now. Wishing you all the best from the Netherlands, Papa Echo number 1 Alpha Victor Papa. I will show my test card. Yeah.
Okay, we have been joined by Roger, G3IUZ. So, Roger, would you like to take it? You can pass it back to me. G3IUZ, welcome aboard from ZA6YI.
Thank you very much, Gary. Lovely job. Thank you very much, Gary. Lovely job. Nice to just go on to the picture. Nice to see you looking somewhat better, and I do hope the irritation has gone as well. But you're certainly looking better this weekend, so that's excellent news, because sometimes these shingles can last quite a long time and be very debilitating, so let's hope it's permanent. Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning or good evening, depending on where in the world you happen to be viewing, listening, and it's always nice to join the web. Sorry, I've only just put the signed in, so Paul, don't worry you haven't noticed. I'd only just done it because I have spent most of this morning and the first part of this afternoon watching the various streaming from the RSGB convention, which is on the whole of this weekend. There's been some absolute brilliant lectures that have been streamed, and they will be available on the RSGB website, I think, in the long term. So if anyone missed them, there's some really good stuff there. I found it extremely informative and entertaining at times, some of it, and amazed by what people are achieving. As always, I just sit here in my dotage, sort of enjoying the labours of others, particularly in this case, of course, with this software. Simon, if you're still there, very much appreciating your software. Don't think there's very much else I wanted to comment on it. Just one sort of slightly amusing, possibly amusing, slightly sentimental things that I mentioned it on the BATC net a couple of weeks ago. You may remember, Gary, I had some pictures of a fleet of visitation of a number of vintage Rolls Royces to Wells in front of the cathedral here down in deepest Somerset. They were on a day's tour. And sorry about the noise, I just realised I've got the HF rig still on. I was monitoring the GB3 HQ, the headquarters station at Milton Keynes at the convention, and I'd forgotten that. So sorry about the background noise there. I do apologise. That will probably be disturbing you, Leon. So I don't wish to provoke you on the audio side any more than I need to. But yes, just very quickly, if I just sort of just show you a rather different picture of a rather vintage car a moment. If I can just do that. I hope this will come up. I haven't checked it. Wrong monitor. Wrong monitor. Hang on, I'll come back to the main picture again. Sorry. Let's. Dear oh dear. Forgive the foolishness. Let's just shove it over there onto the other monitor. There we go. Now it should come up. Let's try it. Let's try again. There we are. This is 70 odd years ago. That's me with my first car. Some of you possibly if you take an interest in these things, may recognise it. It's an Austin 7, the first sort of in the UK people's saloon. It was available from the late 1920s, and my model was a 1932 Austin 7, and I bought it very second hand. It cost me £32 10 shillings, long before decimalisation, you see. And I used it. I drove all over the country, all over the UK, did many thousands of miles before selling it on and acquiring a second-hand Volkswagen Beetle. But it was of great sentimental interest, and I discovered by quite random, which I won't go into, that it still exists after 93 years. The car still exists. It's still registered in the UK. I haven't been able to find out who the current owner is because it's quite difficult to get that information. But it spurred me into, in a moment of sentimentality, to acquiring a rather nice model. I found it on eBay, which I'll just amuse you with. Well, it might amuse you anyway. So if I just go over to the other camera a moment, I hope. Let me just come off that picture. Just hang on a second. There is a scale model made by a company called Ricoh. I think they were in Singapore some years ago, but it's a beautiful scale model. I've put the right number plates on. It's got my old number plate on it now, but I just thought it might be quite amused to see it. It's amazingly detailed. If I open up the bonnet there, you can perhaps just get some idea of the detail. I mean, there's my finger coming in. You can see how small it is, but lovely detail of the Zenith updraft carburettor, the fuel tank under the bonnet, and so forth and so on. The doors open, and all the detail inside. Just go around the back. So this now sits, you see, in front of just under the monitor, and reminds me of those early days of motoring some 70 odd years ago. We're all electric now, I have to admit, but I would love to. I could never own it, because to buy one of these now, you're talking thousands of pounds. But I'd love to meet it again if it were possible. I don't suppose it will be. Just going to show you the other side of the engine, the lovely detail. The spark plugs have got all the wiring on them, the ignition coil. I don't know whether we've got enough light in there to see all that, but I hope that's showing you just some of the detail there. So that's absolutely nothing to do with amateur radio, nothing to do with DATV, but just the amusement of the elderly. So, as I say, sheer sentimentality. That's quite enough for me. Let's pass it back to you, Gary. Those were the days with just cable brakes, only 3 gears, crash gearbox. But as I say, many thousands of miles were travelled around the UK, and that when I was working with the BBC as an engineer on outside broadcasts and studios based in the Midlands. Right, let's pass it to you then, Gary. ZS6YI with the worldwide net, G3IUZ. I'll put a test card up a moment.
Okay, Roger, that was a good over, and it's excellent for DATV. Some beautiful pictures of your model and of course of your first car. Now, you might not believe this, almost to the minute, today, 53 years ago, it was 4 o'clock South African time, it's now 4:41 p.m. My very first motor car arrived, a brand new Dodge Colt Mitsubishi engine, and it was actually delivered to my mother. My dad bought it for my mom. When I started university, I hijacked the vehicle, so it became mine. But I did, in the end, compensate her for that, although it took many, many years later. I compensated her with a brand spanking new Rolls-Royce Spirit 3. Silver Spirit 3, which she drove until she passed away. I still have that car. Now, my Dodge Colt, I still have. And just before my son passed away, he refurbished it to brand new condition. He stripped it down to the last nut and bolt, repainted it. It was like a hobby to him. He did the engine, the two SU carbs. It was absolutely perfect. The only thing he was waiting for was the carpets, which he paid for, and then he passed away. And to this day, we never got the carpets. Anyway, so that is a coincidence. You talk about nostalgia. The whole day I've been thinking of my Dodge Colt. I have a photograph of it, but for the life of me, I can't get it on to show you guys. I don't know why. But anyway, I'll do it maybe next week. I was asked, how's King of England? I spoke to Martin a bit earlier today, as a matter of fact, Paul, and he's good, all good. He's still playing around on his station, but his wife, Carol's not too well. She's not too mobile at the moment. She has to walk around in a walker. So he has not been too active on a Sunday, because it coincides, do forgive this voice, I've got a real hoarse, coldy voice today, but he has to assist her, and it's just about lunchtime, their side, so it's a little bit awkward for him to come up. He was hoping to come up today for a short time, but unfortunately he didn't make it. Simon, congratulations indeed. Well deserved, well deserved, and I'm pleased that the RSGB has acknowledged the fantastic and a lot of hard work you've put in over the years on different software to make amateur radio easier for many to get on, and especially on QO-100. So kudos to you there, well done. I know you'll see this on YouTube a bit later, because I think you're about walkies, as Barbara Woodhouse used to say. Now, Peter, GW7BZY, he says unfortunately he's working today. He has made further improvements on the sound and image quality, so we look forward to seeing you next week, Peter. And hello to Nigel at 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel Hotel. Always nice to have you watching, Nigel. And then to my friend Frick Wolf, ZS6 Foxtrot Zulu. He's quite a consistent watcher or a viewer is the right word, on our DATV channel. Hello Frick, ek hoop het gaan goed met jou. And then Peter Rudolph, as usual, DK3 Zulu Fox from Hanover in Germany. Hello Peter, always nice to have you on. Gunther, lekker, hello from Delta 8 Golf Whiskey. Welcome Gunther, and I hope you find it interesting. And then there's Charlie Pretorius, greetings from Pretoria. I think it's ZS6 Charlie Romeo. So yeah, all nice net today. So far 25 people on YouTube that's been watching, so not too bad. We've had 50, we've had a bit more than 50, but anyway, so the cookie crumbles. I think I've commented on everything. Yeah, just want to go back to the list. Indeed, Benno, it was interesting when the audio disappeared, but we all frantically got hold of you, but finally you got the message. It happens to the best of us, but we got everything, and well done. And Bert, prachtig, that's going to be a very nice station you're setting up there for the narrowband side. And well, you might even be able to go wideband with that, I'm sure, if you wanted to. And always nice projects from your end. And then Paul, yeah, I think you were going to talk about a filter, but I see that's disappeared. And I wanted to comment on Simon's VHF breakthroughs at the moment. You know, there are wonderful opportunities which go unnoticed because nobody's on VHF like it was in the mid 70s when I came on. We couldn't wait for little openings like that. Transequatorial ducting. We spoke Ton Bo. He was ZS4BU. He's now in the Netherlands as well. Good friend of mine. He still has, I think, a world record from Sasolburg, about 30 kilometers south of me, all the way up to Greece, I think it was, transequatorial ducting. So that was good. And that was simplex, and of course on SSB. So wonderful things have happened. And Paul, yeah, I hope you get the vehicle through the test. I hope they don't remember you, because they could be vindictive. I think they went overboard to catch you out. But I suppose that's the way the cookie crumbles there. Eh? Luckily, we just go to the local guys. Anyway, these things happen. And Leon, okay, it's going to be an interesting talk on light and RF. Yeah, maybe you should organize a satellite QSO sometime. That might be interesting as well. Maybe you should talk about that as well, because we need to punt amateur radio amongst the youngsters. Having said that, back to you, Leon. And I noted on you might be, the work might be interfering with your Sunday net. That's not good. ZS1 Mexico, Mexico from ZS6YI.
Okay, thanks Gary. ZS6YI and the group ZS1 Mike returning. Yes, indeed, the work is interfering with my retirement and my my amateur radio and all my other projects. But the work is so nice, man. my workplace is just an extension of my hobby. It's just more expensive equipment and and so on. I love the place, and I'll never be able to part with it completely. But that's not my choice. They want me there. So yes, they phoned and they said, okay, I'll come. Right, I've made some very interesting observations now. Gary, I sent you a WhatsApp, but you didn't read it. Your phone is probably off or something. Okay, Simon, if you are listening, oh well, you're going to see it in the recording. Your picture is brilliant, eh? Today it's like razor sharp, very nice. Your hiss is still there. You're trying to hide it with the noise gate, but the moment you start talking and the gate opens, the hiss is very pronounced. So that is still there. Now on that, when Benno came up, and he accidentally switched off his microphone, he has the same hiss. And when he switched it on again, the hiss was obviously there, but then he said, but he's using your software. So there is something in the audio of the software that's generating that hiss. It's not your compander. And to really put the cherry on top, when Roger came up, he had the HF on in the background, but also the same hiss. And I didn't know that he was using your software until he said it. So 3 stations with exactly the same hiss there's something that you should have a look at, because your program works brilliantly, but there's something causing a constant hiss. It's not acoustic hiss, it's an electronic hiss, like a noisy transistor type hiss. I know nothing about software, so I wouldn't know where to scratch around for it, but you'll know where to look at how you build the audio or whatever, and it definitely makes that hiss. The ultimate was when Benno switched off his microphone accidentally. The hiss was still there at the same level. There's a big difference between acoustic background noise and electronic hiss. Anyway, I'm sure you'll be able to fix it now that we've proven on 3 stations that it's definitely there. Bert, lots of projects, yes. And yeah, you make fancy stuff, eh? All your stuff is so neat, and so now that you're working on the narrowband thing there, I must still finish I've got too many projects running at the moment, but I want to finish my narrowband. But it's a waste to use a Pluto for that. You find an old SSB CB set, man, and use that and just convert it up. It works like a charm. There's my CB that I got as a present from one of the other local hams, and it works perfectly. They've got good modulation, everything is good, and you just mix it up and filter it, and it works fantastic. And it's much cheaper than a Pluto. A Pluto is for DATV. Right, and Paul, okay, power supply problems, yes, it sounds like it's a switch mode thing there. Now, my experience with switch mode power supplies, all our receivers at work have switch mode supplies. It's French equipment, AT&E. There's about 40 of those receivers, and they have a very neat power supply. They've taken all the precautions of not letting the noise leak out, because it's S-band receivers. No ICs. It's still discrete components. And when they start blowing transistors, you know, when a switch mode goes, it goes disastrous. It's not just one little thing that goes. We have a standard replacement kit for when the supply goes. But through the years, we've found that you can catch it before it goes. Check your electrolytic caps with the ESR meter, not just the microfarads. The ESR is critical on those things. So check your caps. Don't just replace the FETs and the chips. Check the caps for ESR. Right, and the brakes on your car, yes, you said they failed the brakes. Well, my dad restored a 1935 Ford and a 1936 Ford. And they both had mechanical brakes, rods, not even cables, it's rigid rods. And you really had to step on that brake pedal to make those, especially the 36 is a V8 engine, eh? So to stop that thing, but they passed it. He had no problem getting it through the test. Yeah, so I still have some pictures of the cars here, beautifully restored by my dad. And okay, all noted on the knobs. Unfortunately, I don't have the missing knob for the attenuator. It's completely gone. The guy just made a little brass thing on his lathe and put it on there. I'll see if they have an old. There's lots of those spectrum analyzers at work as well, which are not being used. I'll see if they've got a written off one, and maybe they can give me a knob or so. But the spectrum analyzer is working perfectly, and mine is indeed 8559A. There's the manual. That's a 21 gig one. That's the one that I've got. And we have lots of them at work as well, but we don't use them anymore. We have much more modern ones at work now. I now have, of the real HP type stuff, I have 6 spectrum analyzers now. I have this one, then I have 4 141Ts, and I've got that Advantest one. Yeah, it's six real spectrum analyzers with tubes. I don't like spectrum analyzers that don't have tubes. I have small LCD ones, but It's too slow. There's nothing like a tube for speed. Anyway, okay, yeah, Roger, as I say, he's got the same hiss. Now, interesting that it's Austin, I presume, that little car of yours. Many years ago, I was still in school. The Anglican church minister, he was a young guy. He had one like that, restored, but it was pure black. The whole thing was black. And they had an old car show at one of the places down here. And he nearly rolled that thing. He would get out of it, but it obviously has a hand throttle as well. I don't know. Put it on a sharp turn and then get out and walk alongside the car. And then he got back into it. And then he started doing wheelies and stuff with this thing, and he had it on 2 wheels, and it got gadoof. I thought, ooh, those spoke wheels. But yeah, I remember that very clearly. Okay, so that's it from me. I give it to Simon if he's there, otherwise Benno from ZS1, Mike.
Yeah, I think I left the gap long enough. Yeah. First to start on the last, well, the part of the hiss. We all know Leon's perfect pitch here. But I'm not working with the SDR TV. I'm working with DATV Red from our friend in South Africa. So yeah, I was playing with SDR TV. As we are speaking, I'm also transmitting on SDR TV on my spec on 23 cents. But yeah, so the hiss is not, at least not that part. What I did modify is the audio separate SR. I don't know what it means. I had it on 48, and I noticed that you and Gary are on 44, and several stations are using either 44 or 48. And I already heard, well, what I always hear is if I'm using one VLC instance for multi-stations, some of them have wrong bitrate audio, and I get a different pitch, different tone. Well, I did move it back, and for your convenience I can switch off my audio again. So that's probably that. Now I did it by accident and I noticed, and I have nothing else on the OBS. I'm using OBS, and that's probably the main. Well, I think you are using as well OBS. So, but it might be just a setting in OBS where we are going wrong. But anyway, that about that. What else to comment on? Bert, I am working at the moment on my antenna, on my new antenna. I am building a new mast at the back of my house, which I can put down easily and get up, and it will be about well, at least 4 or 5 meters higher than the current antennas I'm using. So that should solve a little bit the problem of our direct contacts. That should be at least a little bit more and what else can I comment on? Well, Simon is gone, not to talk too much on this software, which is great, but also cause some new problems for me, and I still haven't found the solution for that. But maybe it's the one of the few software which can work with my fishbowl software, SDR, and yeah, so many. And what Paul talked about, I managed to brick the my system. Well, at least it looked like it was bricked. It didn't work, and I managed to get it working with some commands, which is somewhere. It's not a new version, not a new software. It's just some commands to get the software back in working. But if people are playing with it, they might want to contact with me in order to figure out what I did, what I found so far. Okay, well, that's basically it. And I won't say it's a great solution yet. I always loved the Pluto, the original Pluto, but having all the other options, yeah, I like to shop around and look. But I'm working at the moment with a real old 3-4-year-old Pluto built in a cabinet, which still works. Things which I have built, which works for ages. Okay, well, that's all for now. Passing it on to Bert. 73's all. Maybe next week. Otherwise, I will be somewhere showing some pictures or doing some narrowband on the QO-100 with scouting during the Jamboree. 73 from Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray Alpha Clear. Bye bye.
Oh, something stops working over here. I don't know what happens here, but okay. The receiver crashed. It just crashed. Let's see if I can see myself back. Okay. Yeah, that's me again. Oh, sorry. Our home tiger is just passing by. Let's see. Yeah, about 6 meter, Benno. Yeah, I'm also active in 6 meter. So everything from 6 meter till yeah 30 centimeters I can use over here. And yeah, it would be much easier, of course, if you put the antenna a little higher. We have some contact, of course, on 70 centimeters, but yeah, it would be easier if you put the antenna up. But the next contest will be somewhere in December. I thought the second weekend from December, the next contest. So if you can manage that, it would be great. Not only for me, but also for the other guys over here in the neighborhood. No, nothing more to tell. Maybe for Leon, maybe you can make with the 3D printer a nice knob. That's yeah, you can do everything with the 3D printer. Okay, it's all from this side. Say have a nice week and see you then the next time. I don't know when the next time will be, but we will see. Now passing then to Paul. Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa from the group. Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta.
Yeah, thank you, Bert. PA3 AOD, the group. This is Papa Echo number 1 Alpha Victor Papa. Let's see what I wanted to comment. Yeah, first of all, Roger, good to see you again. It is some time ago, but yeah, your transmission was perfect. No problem whatsoever to receive you. Well, this counts for all. Perfect signals that I did receive. Yeah, the noise of your HF transceiver, Roger, in the background, that was a bit problematic, to be honest. But yeah, I could understand you. I will check the RSGB stream that you talked about. If there are interesting lectures, well, perhaps I can learn something from it. It was really great to see your 1932 Austin 7. Honestly, wonderful. But yeah, I think that there must be a register on Austin 7s. So if you want to contact the current owner of your car, your previous car, then it should be possible, to my opinion. Perhaps you have to spend some time on it, but I'm quite sure that it will be possible. Yeah, Gary, you compensated your mother with a Spirit 3. That's a kind of compensation. My father or my mother never did, huh? In that way, but wonderful, and also the fact that it is restored by our son before he passed away. Yeah, clear about the King of England. Yeah, hopefully he will be back again soon, and that then tells something about the condition of Carol. Okay. Yeah, you talked about the fact that amateurs are getting old. Perhaps we have to dye our hair, Gary, then we don't look that old. But it's true. Also in my surrounding, you see nearly no young radio amateurs anymore. So yeah, we are the last ones being happy with this hobby, I think. Yeah, perfect, Leon. You were talking about the power supply unit. Indeed, it's a switch mode one. Actually, there is a switching unit that does a kind of yeah, conditioning of the mains. Yeah, that's how it works. So there's a switching unit that is conditioning the mains, and that means that about 250 volts DC is then entered in two switch mode power supplies, both being able to deliver 40 volts 10 amps. And it is one printed circuit board where the FETs go out. I replaced all capacitors already because I had the same opinion like you do, but it didn't help. So yeah, that's the reason why I now did replace the integrated circuit too. Let's see what happens. But if it goes with a loud bang, I can tell you. Yeah, it's a pity that you're missing the original knobs from the spectrum analyzer. But yeah, you were able to repair it, and it's worth it. The 21 gigahertz analyzer is really convenient to use, to my opinion, and yeah, it's speedy. Exactly what you told. I also own a digital spectrum analyzer. It's here in the left. Yeah, you cannot see it. I love that one, especially to do measurement on filters. But indeed, the analog ones are speedy. You also had a cough, Leon. I don't know what it is, but perhaps it's something in South Africa. That could well be. Benno, what I observed, that was the enormous latency. The difference between video and audio. Doesn't matter because furthermore I could understand you and the picture was also well, but it was not synchronized. Okay, you were talking about the fishbowl SDR, and that with some simple commands you are able to unbrick it, and that is of course interesting. You said you still prefer the Pluto. Okay, I'm not criticizing the Pluto, not at all. But the new SDRs have a more powerful FPGA, and for the fishbowl, that is the Xilinx 7020, and yeah, that delivers of course new possibilities, especially in combination with Simon's TV software. So I think it's now time to look at newer SDRs. Okay. That's it from the Netherlands. I wish you all a nice week to come, and hopefully next week we will be able to meet again. I hand over to Gary again. Show my test card. Okay, that's now happening. Gary, it's all to you.
Actually, Roger, it's your turn. Would you like to take it again? G3IUZ from ZA6YI.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, okay, Paul. Thank you, Gary. Didn't look at the list for Paul. Thank you, Gary. Didn't entirely forgivable. Right. Okay. A number of things there quickly. On the Leon, on the HIS side, I wonder whether perhaps Benno has put his finger on it. It may be perhaps OBS is at the root cause of this rather than Simon's software. I'm certainly running OBS myself. Let me just switch. Let me actually just on software switch the mic off for a few moments. Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong camera. Sorry. That's better. Sorry. Let me just. Sorry about that. I had the wrong. Just noticed I had the wrong camera up. Hang on a second. Let's just get on the right monitor here. Right, mic off for a few moments, Leon. Right, we're back on again now. I wonder whether you got the same effect. That was switching the mic off on OBS. I know that obviously doesn't affect the Simon part of the chain, but I just sort of do that just to be clear. Yes, apologies again for the HF. It was immediately, the loudspeaker on the HF rig was immediately behind the microphone. It's a cardioid mic, but even so, I do apologise for that error. Right, that's that. Just okay on your first card too, Gary. That's interesting. How lovely to still have that. That's very special. No, I had to sell mine on. I couldn't afford to keep it. As I say, I bought it for £27, 10 shillings, and sold it after quite a few thousand miles for £32. So I did make a profit on it a couple of years later, which is good. I was pleased about that at the time. The worst thing that ever happened to me was when I was fortunately not very far from home, and I suddenly found coming up to a junction that nothing was happening. I was just slowing down and came to a halt. But when I looked in the rear view mirror, I happened to notice that the offside rear wheel was no longer still under the mudguard where you can't see it. It was out about a couple of feet out in the road. It's still attached to the car, but suddenly my the width of the car had suddenly increased, and what had happened is the pinion at the end on the differential had sheared, and the half shaft was working its way out of the rear axle casing. But in those days it was very easy to do your own servicing. It was just a question of going to the local dealer in second-hand parts, getting another half shaft, taking the axle apart. You could do it all single-handed. Same decoking the engine. You could take that out single-handed. You pick that engine up single-handed and stick it on the workbench. Aluminium casing. It was remarkably modern in a way, but there we are. Anyway, that's all a long time ago. But good luck with the MOT there, by the way, Paul. Certainly, I'm jolly glad that when I had the Austin 7 there were no such things, because with that cable braking, you really had to anticipate when you wanted to stop. And you certainly couldn't have done an emergency stop with it. I never hit anything, but by gum, you had to be careful. Yeah, that's that. Now, talking about age of amateurs, well, I was very impressed with the RSGB convention. There were obviously a lot of middle-aged and elderly, but there were some very good young speakers. Very impressed with some of their delivery and some of their lectures. So all is not lost. There is another generation coming along, and some of them extremely well informed. There was one particular lecture this morning on the design of switch mode power supplies for minimal RF interference, which I found extremely interesting. But you'll find it on the RSGB website. And there was another one which I haven't watched yet, but I shall be on the polar modulation, the latest thing that Flex Radio and Hans Summers is using in his kits, where they're using the PA in Class E and getting a remarkable efficiency. In terms of the PA, so that'll be a very interesting lecture. So the new Flex Aurora is apparently using it, and they're getting 500 watts out of a box no bigger than the old 100-watt machine. Anyway, that's all to be looked at. So anyway, lovely to have caught up with you all today, and I hopefully will join you again next week. Then the clocks go back the following week, and we'll have to see how the domestics. I might sort of pop in at the end of the net. Certainly won't. I don't think I should be able to join at the beginning, but I'll try and keep in touch. But when the hour changes, it does make life a little more difficult for me on the domestics. So 73s, everybody, and now we will pass it to you, Gary, to tie the ribbons. So ZS6YI G3IUZ in deepest Somerset. Let's give you a picture to close on. Picture of the cathedral here in Wales, our pride and joy. So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening.
Okay, Roger. Nice over. And we had a similar problem with the Dodge Colt. The wheel came off one day. but it wasn't an axle. It was, I think, a careless repair to a flat wheel. But I wasn't driving, luckily. I had one of my reps driving, and he was coming down a very, very sharp incline, and he suddenly saw this wheel going past to discover it was the Dodge Colt's wheel. By the way, I managed to do a little plan. Yeah, let's just have a look, see, and there it is. It's not a good photo. That's what it looks like. It was number 3, the first one in our area, number 3 in the country, and everything's original. No change to anything except the tires. So that's what it looks like, and that's 53 years. It was 1972, today's date. 53 years and 1.5 hours almost. So there we go. I do apologize for the voice. I just want to say, Hans Summers, I know personally, we became very friendly. He was invited with our Yota group some years back, I think 2018, and he came through. So we spent a lot of time together, actually. A very, very knowledgeable young guy, a very nice fellow too. And I have kept in touch with him. He was in a different country where he wasn't allowed to come onto DATV. Right in the beginning, I tried to get Hans going. I don't know if he's back in the UK. I'll actually, after this net, give him a ring and see where he is and get him back. Yeah, it was a good suggestion from Paul about the 1932 Austin. Maybe there is an old register. That'll be good if you could, just for interest's sake. Noted on the profit you made. Yeah, I haven't made a profit on the car. I tell you, just to refurbish it, just the carpets cost what the car cost. Crazy what's happened with inflation and what's happened to our currency. It's really gone bad. But anyway, I just want to say hi to Pierre Smith. He is ZS6 Papa Sierra. I was honored to address their AGM of their club a couple of weeks ago, just before I got ill, and I gave a talk on DATV, etc. And there's been quite a bit of interest from the Pretoria boys. So, Paul, you must come up. We're waiting for you, Pretoria guys, and if you need help, there's Leon and myself to always assist. With that, I'm going to close the net. Wish everybody a very happy week. I hope my voice is back. It just happened suddenly, 2 hours before we came on the net. So, and there's no air conditioners on, although we had a tremendous thunderstorm. And I had a look at the satellite picture, and I thought, well, maybe by 3 o'clock it will be gone. And it was also so suggested, and it has. But the sun came out, so luckily for that. With that, I'll say 7-3 to everybody. Hopefully we see you next week this time. Enjoy your week, and we keep the fires burning. This is ZS6YI, now signing clear and opening frequency to general use. 7-3 to everybody on frequency.
Just back for a quickie. Just to say thank you very much for the suggestions regarding the chasing up the history of the old Austin 7. I have in fact followed that up with the pre-war Austin 7 club and have sent them details, photographs, with the requests that they put me in touch with the owner, because I know he, on their list, he is a member, or he or she is a member. However, I have had no reply, no acknowledgement. So it's been an email that has gone out, I know not where, but they've got a website and so on, so I used all the correct contacts, but unfortunately there's been no response one way or the other. So yeah, thanks for the suggestions. I have followed that path, but so far without without effect. So there we are. So that's sorry, I completely forgot to mention that on my over. Good afternoon, everybody. G3IUZ signing with the World Wide Net.
When you switch your phone off, your signal's dead clean. Perfect, perfect, perfect. No hiss, no background noise. So it's just when you switch the mic on. Not that to me, it's not an issue at all. But we have a mobile audio network analyzer, and that is Leon. He's got a network analyzer between his ears. He's very critical on those things, but really it doesn't. It's not detracting from your signal at all. But don't forget, Leon worked for the South African Broadcasting Corporation when TV just came out, so they got very fastidious about certain things, and audio was one. Anyway, 7-3 all. This is ZS6YI QRT.